So, I'm in a good mood today because of this announcement. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm joined by our partners and team members who have all played an important role in today's announcement. I'll start by recognizing City Council President Miguel Melendez and Reverend Myra Brown, who are here at the podium today. And I also want to thank some of the city staff that spent a lot of time working with our community partners on this. Liliana Ruiz, our Director of Special Projects and Educational Initiatives, and John Brock, who's Special Assistant to the Mayor. I want to thank them for working on the city side in terms of coordinating with our community partners on working on this. We also have several community leaders here who were on the original committee that helped establish this effort. Many of them are here and out there. I see Jerome Underwood. I'm not going to start naming folks. Nell Hawkins, Aqua, they're all here. Did I see troublemaker Larry Knox out there? There he is from 1199. And so many folks. So I want to thank everybody that's here for all your dedication and laying the groundwork for today's announcement. And we are here today to announce that the City of Rochester's Guaranteed Basic Income Program will officially launch on Thursday, June 22nd. That's when the application form will be open at 10 a.m. on Thursday, June 22nd, and will be available for 1 week through 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, June 29th. Again, it will launch Thursday, June 22nd. That's when the application forms will be available at 10 a.m. on Thursday, June 22nd, and will be available for 1 week through 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, June 29th. So many people here have been talking about and planning for this announcement for months and months. We spent almost all last year working to get to this announcement. My administration has made it a priority to plan for this moment for months. We have taken the time to work with many partners and to get all the details worked out. Through an investment of $2.2 million from the city's American Rescue Plan Act allotment, Rochester's GBI program will provide a monthly payment of $500 to 351 households over 12 months. This program is founded in the belief that individuals in poverty are best positioned to make informed financial decisions that address their household needs efficiently. That's why the cash transfers are unconditional. This means that there are no strings attached, no work requirements, no restrictions on how that money can be spent. And yesterday, at the Ramampi event, I gave the statistics on how our family spent the earned income tax credit dollars. So our folks know how to spend their money. It went to rent, it went to mortgage, it went to car payments, it went to education payments. Guaranteed incomes are nothing new, and many cities have rolled out pilot programs like Rochester's. Taken together, these programs provide researchers with the opportunity to measure the impact and outcomes of poverty reduction programs on participants and the cities as a whole. As we planned our program rollout, we connected with and learned from numerous cities, including Ithaca, New York City, and Mount Vernon, New York. In Stockton, California, for example, a 2-year pilot program provided participants with $500 monthly payments, and the results of the program were amazing. Research showed it led to an improved mental and physical health, increased employment rates, and even had a positive impact on local businesses. Our research partner, the Wilson Sheehan Lab for Economic Opportunities at the University of Notre Dame, will study how Rochester's GBI program will affect the participants' spending, consumption, credit, education, employment and housing stability, and physical and mental well-being. We know that these unconditional payments will enable parents to provide food and clothing for their families, will help people who are struggling to keep up with housing costs to pay their bills, and will give families an opportunity to focus not only on expenses, but on saving money for their future. We understand that financial stability is essential for families to thrive, and firmly believe that programs like this one will help bring that stability to our community. As I said in my State of the City address earlier this year, it's time to prioritize the well-being and economic stability of our community. It's time to take our city from a poverty mindset to a prosperity mindset. I am committed to exploring programs like GBI that can help make this a reality. This GBI program is designed to provide financial support to households that need it most, specifically those living at or below 185% of the federal poverty level. To qualify, applicants must be 18 or older, lived in a qualified census tract in the city of Rochester, and have lived in the city for at least 1 year before applying, and have a household income at below 185% of the federal poverty level. This will all be outlined in our website, and it is also in the briefing material that you have. From all the qualified candidates who apply, our partners at the Lab for Economic Opportunities will randomly select 351 participants. So please keep in mind, the more people who apply, the less chance is that a person will be selected. We want to be transparent in that, and we also want to let folks know that it's random. The mayor doesn't get to pick. Myra doesn't get to pick. None of us up here are going to be saying, we want our cousin to be in it. It is a random selection. We're taking this approach to make sure everyone who qualifies has a fair chance at being selected, and to ensure that everyone who is selected receives all the necessary support through the enrollment process. We will onboard participants in 2 groups. The first group will be alerted by the end of July, and the second group will be alerted by the end of September. So if you don't hear from us in July, keep in mind you may be contacted to participate in September. Everyone who is selected and enrolls in the program will receive 12 full months of payments. I also want to take a moment to also highlight a big benefit that everyone who applies, whether you're selected or not, can take advantage of. Free counseling from the City of the Office of Financial Empowerment. When we open the application form next Thursday, all applicants can check the box saying they are interested in receiving this free financial counseling. As a former banker, I can't understate the importance of a financial education, and the value of this free counseling is something that we want to make sure all of our community knows that they are eligible for, and we want to provide to our community. Knowledge is power. We want to take that acquisition of knowledge and help it in the application of knowledge. If you are an eligible city resident, apply for Rochester's GBI program. This is an amazing opportunity to improve your financial situation and set up a path to a more prosperous future. For city residents who do not have access to a computer or the internet, we have many, many local partners that can help get you the access you need and help you to apply. You can stop at any of our city library branches or the neighborhood service centers for help, or contact one of our 11 community-based partners. I recognize some of those leaders are here, in fact, and let me say thank you to the following folks. The 19th Ward Community Association, wave your hands. CONEA, the Children's Institute, Common Ground Health, Connected Communities, Deaf Refugee Advocacy, EE Pathways, Father Tracy Community Center, Heels of Greatness, Ibero Community Resource Center, and the Urban League of Rochester. These dedicated community partners, alongside our city locations, provide more than 26 places where people can seek out to apply. Again, the online application will open on June 22nd through the 29th. That's only 1 week, so please plan accordingly. Now, as I said earlier, it has taken many partners to get to this point. And City Council President Miguel Melendez has been one of the greatest champions of this program. I want to have him come up and say a few words. I also want to thank Michael A. Patterson, who's also here, and I know she's probably wearing double hats, but our school board vice president, Beatrice LeBron, is here, but also executive director of the Father Tracy Center, who is one of our locations as well. Thank you for being here. So Miguel Melendez, I want to have you come up, and then after Miguel, I'll introduce Myra Brown from the Rochester Black Community Focus Fund. Mr. President.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I have to say, before I begin my remarks, that Councilmember Patterson actually has been on me to be on the mayor. So, you know, we have this train going here of trying to figure out how we get this moving again. And this is an exciting day for all of us. You know, this really originated in the previous administration with the Ruby Committee and has continued with this administration. And while it's been a long time coming, everyone up here is all happy to see this come to fruition. With GBI, we are testing a theory. If you give your family resources, they will know what to do with them best. Guaranteeing additional dollars on a monthly basis has proven to be an effective way to improve stability and quality of life. This pilot will help us fill gaps in Rochester and hopefully be a shining example of what we can do when we, as government, invest in people. This council will be monitoring progress closely, and it is our hope that when this program is successful, we can find the necessary resources to continue and expand the program. I would stress to the media, replay this info on repeat this week, next week, air it again, air it multiple times, put it on social media again. Make sure that the public is aware of the opportunity to apply for this resource. I would like to thank the administration and all who are behind me who have worked tirelessly to see this come to fruition. And again, please help us spread the word. Thank you.
And there are perhaps no GBI champions as dedicated and steadfast as our friends at the Rochester Black Community Focus Fund. Reverend Myra can tell you, we've been working, for over a year. It got tough sometimes, but we got it done. But as Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there is no progress. And Reverend Brown, the executive director of the BCCF, is here to talk about the enrollment process and the role that BCCF will play in this process. Reverend Myra.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so absolutely happy to be here today alongside Mayor Evans and his team, the Council President Melendez, and to announce the launch of Rochester's Guaranteed Basic Income Program. As Mayor Evans said, the application will open for 1 week from Thursday, June 22nd through Thursday, June 29th. And many of you may be wondering, okay, so once I apply, what happens next? Well, what happens next is that our research partners at the Wilson Sheehan Lab for Economic Opportunities at the University of Notre Dame, or LEO, as we call them, will proceed with the random selection process. Once they have been selected, 351 qualified applicants, my team at BCFF will reach out to and begin the enrollment process. And so once they are selected, our team will send out notifications to prepare those selected for enrollment through a verification process of documents that they will be required to submit to prove age and residency and address and income levels. And once that happens, if there are also participants we anticipate who may receive certain benefits, if they are folks who receive benefits, then it will be our role to also provide benefits counseling for them. We have secured waivers for some benefits, so some of the participants will be protected and won't have a negative impact. But for those who will, they will have benefits counseling, and they will know exactly how these dollars may or may not impact their benefits. So it'll be the job of my team at the Black Community Focus Fund to do that verification process and ultimately to work with our partners at M&T Bank to make sure that those disbursements will happen. And I just want to give a plug to my amazing team that I have with me, Damon Wilson, Amber Walder-Georges, and Lydia Rodriguez, and a host of 10 or more volunteers that will also be part of this program in the enrollment phase with us. So I want to thank you, Mayor Evans, and your team, because as you can see, this rollout of this GBI program really is the epitome of Mayor Evans' mantra that he's said all along, that it's not me, it's we. And so I really am grateful for him and his team at City Hall for all the hard work. I'm grateful for all the community partners who worked on this, grateful for promoting this economic empowerment, not just for those who already have wealth, but for those who are in need in our community. So, fellow Rochesterians, Don't forget, applications open on Thursday, June 22nd. And as the mayor noted, there are community partners across the city ready to help you fill out those applications. So tell everybody. And I want to thank you, and I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'm looking forward, and my team is looking forward to rolling this out with the city of Rochester and being part of the enrollment process. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Myra. I was hoping that Assembly Member Clark was going to be here. Somebody from her office is here. But I want to say thank you to Assembly Member Clark, because what you don't know is that in order to do a GBI program in New York State, you have to get county permission and state permission for individuals that are going to be enrolled there, so you have to get a waiver. So that's a whole nother piece that you have to take in order to do this, and she helped us advocate for that, so I want to thank her. And Jerome Underwood, I see you standing back there. I also want to thank ABC, who has helped with a lot of the benefit stuff as it relates to this, and also literacy of Rochester. So this just tells you, you know, as Reverend Myra said, not me, but we. I mean, it takes a village, the amount of folks to be able to work together, to be able to put this together, all levels of government, all levels of community-based organizations. It really is a big undertaking, and we are so happy about that. So again, thank you, Reverend Brown, and I look forward to seeing the positive impact of our partnerships on our city. And in closing, again, I want to remind everyone, again, of the GBI application timeline. Apply between 10 a.m. on June 22nd through 11:59 and 11:59 on June 29th. And for more information on the program, for details on qualifications, rocgbi.com. rocgbi.com. I'm going on my phone right now to make sure it's up. It's up, right? It better be. I want to make sure it's there. rocgbi.com. And I'll open it up with questions, but before we take questions on this, I just want to give four quick data points on, if you remember, childhood poverty was cut in half by 45% when the federal government gave the earned income tax credit during the COVID era. Anyone that had children got these $2,000 checks. And according to the Census Bureau, this is what folks spent money on. 59% of those families spent the extra money on food, 52% spent it on utilities, 44% spent it on clothing, 45% spent it on rent or mortgage, and 40% spent it on education. And in all, 90% of the families spent that extra money on basic needs. So folks ain't gonna get this money and go waste it. They are spending it on basic needs, and we have data that shows that. And I believe that once we have our data from Notre Dame, it will further confirm that. So we are so excited about this. Again, rocgbi.com, rocgbi.com. With that, I will take questions on GBI. If you have off-topic questions, I'll take your off-topic questions off the podium and not in front of all our guests. We'll let them do what they got to do. So right now, we want to focus on GBI. So if you have questions about GBI, we will take those questions. Myself and Reverend Meyer will take any questions you might have related to the GBI. So who has a question about GBI? Yes, sir. So the funding for this first batch of the program is coming from our allotment from the American Rescue Plan Act. So our ARPA funding that we got from the federal government, we're using some of those dollars to help launch this GBI program.
Could you explain a little bit about the partnerships here, how this is going to work with Notre Dame? Is it cash coming, or is it cards that they use to track what people are using the money for? How does that work?
Reverend Meyer, you want to?
Yes, so it won't be cards. We won't be doing cards. Cards really aren't the safest way to deliver additional funds to people because it's so susceptible to things like fraud and hackers, if anybody's ever been hacked. So we will be doing it by ACH, kind of direct cash payments into bank accounts. And for those that do not have bank accounts, our partnership with M&T Bank will help them set up bank accounts. And so we've worked out an agreement so that we can get those dollars to people safely.
So the research aspect about it, will they be asked to fill out sort of questionnaires about how they're using the money? Or how do
The application itself already has kind of baseline research questions built into it. And then at an interval during the year, our research partner will also submit another survey to kind of gauge where people are and the impact that those dollars have had on their life.
Thank you.
Mayor, one question on
Yeah.
the financial aspect of this. I know initial thoughts were the benefits from legal marijuana would go possibly to fund this in later years, because obviously we know that ARPA money is not going to be there forever. So what is the plan? Is it sort of watch and see how this goes, and then just see if we can expand, or?
Well, I think we know it worked. I mean, obviously the research will confirm what I already know, because I already told you the numbers from the Census Bureau. So I know this works, because I can tell you right now, if you gave me an extra $500 a month right now, it would transform my life, right? And it probably would transform. And so imagine someone already living in poverty, how that would transform. So we know it works. So we want to see, first off, the marijuana money. I don't know when that's coming. I think we may finally get some licenses granted in the Finger Lakes, but I just don't want to rely on that. What I'm hoping is that public and private sector can come together, see the results that we're going to have from this program, which I know are going to be successful. We know it's going to work, and see how we can get philanthropy and others to kick in so we can increase this number over time. I mean, imagine if we could have 1,000 people and 2,000 people, if we can get up to that level. I believe that we can get to that number, because if you look at the cost for this program, it's really not a lot of money. It's really not. When you look at the amount of dollars that we are investing, it's not tons of money. We just need other folks, foundations. So foundations are interested in doing this. They've had some other places in Mississippi. There was a foundation that stepped up. So I think that if we can put together the puzzle of the government putting in some money, New York State has expressed an interest in this. I know the county has expressed interest in this, and then foundations, and then private sector. There is no reason why we can't have guaranteed basic income programs for perpetuity, because we know that it works. And then the counseling piece of this is key, because now for over that year period, you're able to have a conversation with Tom or Mary and say, Tom or Mary, you know you're going to have this money for a year. How are you going to replace this money when the year is up? And then that might lead to a conversation about workforce, and they might get put into a program where they might replace that income, or they may be a LPN, and they may go on to go be a doctor, right? Or they may be a paraprofessional, and then they may move up to go become a teacher. So this opens so much opportunity. And then the last thing I'll say, because I had an argument with someone, they said, oh, you're giving money away. We're not giving anything away. This is dollars well spent. When you see the research on the amount of money that we will save long-term in mental health, the amount of money that we will save long-term in terms of self-sufficiency that people have, this program actually pays for itself, and it's probably one of the best investments that we're making as a community. So this is very, very exciting. Maybe two more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Yes, sir. That's a good question. Is it one applicant per household? One applicant per household. One applicant per household, because one person under a roof. Great question. Any other last minute questions?
One more.
Yep.
We heard about a foundation offering something similar to moms in Rochester starting next month. So are you sort of working in partnership with them? Is it possible someone would qualify for both, or is it one or the other?
I don't think that is. If somebody got the other one, I think that's we're not Monarch, right? But that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop them from getting this. No. And I'm glad Monarch is doing that. That's great. And I think that's another example of GBI programs that work. The more, the better. And maybe Monarch will be a partner to help us even expand this in a couple of years, right? So we want to make sure that we get as many people as possible enrolled in this program. This will be transformational for those families, and I can't wait to read the research on it, and I can't wait to present the research back to the community on how effective this program was, because I know that it is going to be effective. Anybody got one last question? Okay. Thank you again. I want to thank all of the partners, folks that are here, Black Community Focus Fund. We finally did it, and now we are excited. And enrollment start enrolling. Thank you.